As the border crossing between Gaza and Egypt is closed again today. The Rafah crossing has been opening briefly to allow foreigners whose names appear on approved lists to cross into Egypt this week. So far, 75 Canadians have made it across and out of Gaza. This is also an update to a story that we've been following for the past few weeks. We've been speaking, you might remember, with Mansour Shuman. He's a Canadian living in Gaza who has made the choice to stay there, but the people in this photo, his wife, Suzanne Harb, and their 5 children, safely crossed into Egypt on Tuesday. And Suzanne is joining us from Cairo with their eldest daughter, Aisha, this morning. I should say it is wonderful to meet you. I have imagined you for several weeks in speaking with your husband and hearing your story. I'm glad to see that you've made it safe. What was your journey like, and what have you been doing since you made it to Cairo?
So it's me, Suzanne. Aisha's my daughter. Hi, Anne, and thank you for having me today. How's the journey? Like, it's been very difficult for us. It's like the whole last month, it was kind of nightmare. Every single day you wake up and you think, oh, I wish it was a dream, but the reality is it's not a dream anymore. It was very difficult to live the bombing every single night. Like every night, because there is no electricity, we have to put the kids early to sleep so they won't hear as much as they can from the bombing. But guess what? I wouldn't be able to sleep because I have to stay awake, making sure if there is anything happen and we need to rush and evacuate. The emotion that I had every single night, like, who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Because you can feel the Air Force over your head, the drones, taking photos. There was a day that it was at the same level of the windows of the house, taking photos for the people inside the house. And I can't tell you how scared I was that night. I couldn't breathe. I could not breathe. I hold my breath for like around 5 minutes because I saw the flash and the light of the drones. I hear it. I hear the sound. It was terrifying. To be honest, leaving Gaza wasn't, I don't know how to say it. It was a very difficult decision for us to leave. Yeah. Because when we left against our will. We left because there was no other options for us. We were a refugee in one of my cousin's house, and there was other families as well. And we reached the point that there is no water, clean one. And even the salt water that we used to use for shower, we had to use less than a liter, and we had to take turns through the week. So it's like your portion of having a shower, it's like once a week or maximum twice a week with half a liter, or if we're lucky, it's a liter or less. There was no clean water, and the food, we reached the point that grocery shopping around us can't carry any more supplies. Snacks like chips and chocolate. It was a luxury for us to find it for the kids. Having a cup of tea after a long day, it was very luxury thing because we have to lighten up the wood. There was no gas. The wood, the fire. And we can't use it in the night because if the Air Force see lights, they might bomb us. We took the decision because we thought we became a burden and we have the chance to leave. So we thought we want to give the rest of the people a chance to survive. It was a very difficult decision to make. And leaving Gaza, it was like my heart broke. I cried out of my heart because I have a sister and brother who is still there, my long distance family, our friends, the people we knew, my house, the house that I furnish every single part of it with my blood and sweat.
Yeah, and
everything
your husband.
We love.
And Suzanne, and your husband, Suzanne, Mansour has made the choice to stay behind.
This is like the most difficult thing, that when I left him, I was like, I'm coming back. This isn't permanent thing. Definitely we're coming back as soon as things calm down and we need to start again. It's hard to break people's will because they all what they have. It's the place they live in. So it's very hard to break their will and their faith, because this is what they're living on.
Suzanne, you brought Aisha in there. She asked to come on camera, and so I am happy to get to talk to you this morning too, Aisha. Anything that you want to share? I kept thinking about you going from being a teenager who's living in Calgary, you go back to Gaza, you end up in the middle of a war zone, and now you're on this first leg of your journey headed back to Canada. What has stood out to you about this time, and what will you be thinking of as you make this journey back here to Canada?
The first thing that honestly came to my mind, like when you're living in Gaza, in the beginning, it was super tough because we weren't accustomed to it, you know? Like life there is it's so very different to the life in Canada. But then we went to a really amazing school. We're in a British international school. The teachers are amazing. We bought a house. You know, we were like, finally, like, this is our place. All our family is there. Our roots are there. And then when the war started, you don't really understand it, because for the first few weeks we were stuck. Not the first few weeks, like the later few weeks, we were inside the house, and even after, we had like a belt of fire. It destroyed 7 houses directly behind us and around us. And you hear the sounds, and it's absolutely horrific. And then, you know, all the glass exploding and all that stuff. But then when you step outside and you actually see the destruction, you kind of like something clicks in your brain, and you're like, wow, this is actually real. It's not just a sound. It's not just a feeling in your brain. You're seeing it with your eyes, you know?
Aisha, that is such a powerful description to hear coming from you as a young person who's trying to walk through those streets that are full of rubble. Last question quickly before we have to go. Do you know when you'll be returning to Canada, how long you'll be in Egypt before the journey back here?
So basically, we do, especially because I left my husband behind. I don't have the intention to go back to Canada. Meanwhile, I'm gonna stay in Egypt as long as I like feel things maybe become better, because definitely I'm not leaving him behind. And I might go to UAE to spend some time with my family until things get better and we reunite again and go back to the place that we think we should be at this moment. Definitely in the future, we have plans. But at this moment, I think we will just wait until things get better. And my message to the world, as Canadian Palestinian, I feel like it doesn't matter if I'm Canadian or Palestinian or any nationality, or it's a humanity thing, you know? Seeing everything falling around you, like it shouldn't be any life less matter than the other. If this happened in Canada, I would advocate for it. If it happens in anywhere else, I would advocate for it. When we moved to Palestine, we thought like we need some time to reconnect with our roots and introduce the culture to the kids. And we were doing fine. And all of a sudden, all our dreams shattered. And this is something, it's undescribable.
Suzanne, I'm grateful that you and your children are safe. I'm glad we've been able to connect with you, to speak with you, to find out what your experiences are like, and to know that you are safe this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.